took decades for thrillers to go mainstream, but now we can't get enough of them. To kick off our autumn series, we're heading back to the 90s to revisit the sharp, suspenseful, and sometimes forgotten thrillers that helped shape the genre into what it is today. Number 1. Fallen. This is a 1998 crime supernatural drama thriller. After a detective watches the execution of a notorious serial killer he apprehended, a new wave of murders emerges, mirroring the executed man's methods. As he investigates the case further, he encounters a professor who reveals a disturbing theory. A supernatural force may be responsible. This revelation draws the detective into a chilling investigation that blurs the line between reality and the occult. This was heartbreaking. I was emotionally attached to characters I barely knew, see the protagonist's family, and how much I love Denzel Washington, you have no idea. But I also found interesting that Donald Sutherland's character didn't even try to hide the corruption in his field. I didn't even realize that there were supernatural elements in this movie before watching it. I just quickly read something about Aramaic or some other language, and I thought it was right up my alley. Did you watch Fallen? Number 2. 7. This is a 1995 crime mystery thriller, and it's probably the number 1 recommendation you will get in this category if you ask people online. In a grim city on the brink of collapse, a veteran detective takes on one final case. With a newly transferred partner, they uncover a string of gruesome murders, each linked to one of the 7 deadly sins, committed by a methodical serial killer. As the older detective tries to understand the killer's twisted logic, he grows close to his partner's anxious pregnant wife, who fears raising a child in such a violent world. When it came out, it was groundbreaking. Now, it may not hit the same way, but the acting and direction are outstanding. Some people say it's predictable, yet I found it a pleasant watch, if you can call it pleasant. But also, if you enjoy the genre, this is also a safe rewatch. Number 3. Dark City. This is a 1998 mystery, sci-fi neo-noir dystopian thriller. A man wakes up with no memory and discovers he's been hunted for a series of brutal crimes. As he tries to uncover the truth about himself, he's plagued by visions of a woman he can't remember but feels connected to. His search leads him through a shadowy, unfamiliar city shaped by forces beyond his understanding. Ever since I watched it, only a few months ago for the very first time, I kept thinking about it every now and then. The atmosphere is so iconic that you cannot associate it to any recent release, except maybe for the fact that it's so dark you can barely see certain scenes, just like the current trend on Netflix or Prime Video. And you might be surprised to find it in this category of 90s thrillers, but I think it's as much a sci-fi as a mystery, and it's quite a thrilling mystery, even though the main feature is that it's a neo-noir, so you might want to add it to your watch list if you love noir. I found it thrilling because I felt trapped and chased along with the protagonist. And it's a brilliant movie. As I said, it keeps coming to my mind, and I think you don't necessarily appreciate it as you watch it for the first time. It takes a while, it grows on you. Let me know if you had this experience as well. Before we move on, make sure to subscribe, and if you're enjoying this video, give it a like, because it really makes a huge difference. Thank you so much for your support. Number 4, The Negotiator. This is a 1998 action crime drama thriller, and it's partially based on a true story. When a top police negotiator is accused of murdering his partner, he believes he's being set up as part of a larger conspiracy. Desperate to prove his innocence, he takes hostages inside internal affairs, hoping to uncover evidence that will clear his name. He demands that another respected negotiator be brought in, someone he hopes will secretly help expose the truth behind the setup. This is a solid thriller that differs from contemporary films in its setting and acting. The whole movie takes place in a confined space, similar to a theater play, but not a locked room per se. This is why good acting is crucial, in my opinion, and Samuel L. Jackson never disappoints. I didn't expect this movie to be as tense as it turned out to be. Number 5. Kiss the Girls. This is a 1997 crime neo-noir drama psychological thriller, and it's based on the 1995 novel of the same name. A forensic psychologist heads to North Carolina after his niece disappears. Suspecting a twisted killer known as Casanova is behind it, he joins forces with a resilient woman who managed to escape the killer's location, where several women are being held captive. Their investigation eventually takes them to Los Angeles, uncovering the chilling possibility that Casanova isn't acting alone. I was disgusted from the very beginning, and I wasn't entirely satisfied at the end. Morgan Freeman, though, is always a gem. I didn't realize that Along Came a Spider was the sequel. I watched it last year before watching Kiss the Girls, and I didn't even notice that the recent Cross series was based on the same character. Maybe because I tend to forget the names of characters, even protagonists, after watching a movie, and so I didn't connect the dots. And in a way, I wish they had continued making movies instead of a series out of the novels around Cross. Even though the series that was released, I think last year or this year, on Prime Video was okay, but you know, it would have been quite different. Either way, before making this video, I decided to rewatch both Kiss the Girls and Along Came a Spider, and actually they were better than I remember. Did you read the books about Cross? Let me know in the comments. Number 6. Chain Reaction. This is a 1996 action sci-fi thriller. At a Chicago university, a gifted student machinist and a physicist help achieve a major breakthrough in clean energy through stable fusion. When the device is stolen and they're falsely accused of murder, the two become fugitives. Pursued by federal agents, they must clear their names and recover the stolen technology before it's misused. All I remember is that I was on the edge of my seat, and as you can see from this list, most actors are stellar, and this is no different with Keanu Reeves, Morgan Freeman again, and Rachel Weisz, among others. I wasn't sure whether to recommend Speed or this one, but I feel like Speed gets enough attention, so here we are. I guess I like this one because I often struggle with action movies. I get easily bored, while the scientific elements in the plot were just what I needed to be intrigued, I guess. Or maybe it was the acting itself. I'm not entirely sure, because several action thrillers from the 90s feature Keanu Reeves, or he is the protagonist in these, and he is always good. Yet, even though maybe here the scientific elements weren't accurate or anything, they were still an additional thing that made it worth it. Number 7. Gattaca. This is a 1997 mystery sci-fi thriller romance. In a future where perfection is determined by DNA, a man labeled as inferior risks everything to defy the rigid system. He adopts the identity of someone from the genetic elite to gain entry into a prestigious space program. But as the launch date nears, a murder investigation threatens to expose his secret and destroy everything he's worked for. Gattaca is up there as a unique and memorable film that couldn't be more relevant as the years go by. It still stands out among the best sci-fi films, but it's also a solid mystery thriller. I keep coming back when I want to see a good and satisfying movie, and its visuals pop up in my mind every now and then, just like Dark City. Except I watched Gattaca years ago for the first time, and I still recommend it. And I wonder, why can't we get more dystopias like this one? Not necessarily dystopias that are getting way closer to our reality than they should, but you know what I mean. As you can tell from this list, I'm recommending you a bunch of different types of thrillers, and the next one is probably completely random. I'm curious what you think about it. Number 8. The Unexpected Mrs. Pollifax. This is a 1999 mystery thriller, and it's based on the 1996 book of the same name. After her doctor urges her to pursue long-buried dreams, a determined widow decides she wants to become a spy. A letter to her congressman unexpectedly leads to a CIA mission in Morocco, where she is tasked with retrieving a mysterious codebook. When the agency realizes their mistake, they send an experienced agent to keep an eye on her, but things don't go as planned. This is cozy, funny, and it's starring the absolute legend that was Angela Lansbury. This is not your typical thriller recommendation, yet it delivers. It reminds me of spy comedies from the 60s with a touch of Murder, She Wrote. If you're looking for something light, comforting, and thrilling at the same time, give it a go. Number 9. Primal Fear. This is a 1996 crime drama mystery thriller based on the 1993 novel of the same name. A confident, success-driven defense attorney takes on the high-profile case of a young altar boy accused of brutally killing a prominent archbishop. What begins as a straightforward attempt to win another headline-grabbing trial quickly unravels into something far more disturbing. As hidden truths about the church surface and the boy hints at a mysterious third presence during the crime, the case takes a dark and unexpected turn. We talked about it in the top 10 legal dramas video because I rewatched it this year and it was really good. Edward Norton in particular is impeccable as usual. It's worth checking out if you're into courtroom dramas but also psychological thrillers. Number 10. Insomnia. This is a 2002 neo-noir psychological thriller and it's the remake of the 1997 Norwegian movie of the same name. Two homicide detectives from Los Angeles are sent to a remote Alaskan town where daylight never fades to investigate the calculated murder of a teenage girl. As the lead investigator faces off with a cunning suspect, the case turns into a tense psychological battle. Struggling with guilt and exhaustion, the detective's grip on reality begins to crumble. I left it at the bottom of the list because this is not a movie from the 90s. I'm recommending you the 2002 version simply because I haven't watched the original one, the Norwegian movie, which is from 1997. And the remake was directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Al Pacino, Robin Williams and Hilary Swank, and the fact that it's set in Alaska is a huge plus to me. This is one of the few movies you should avoid if you don't want to ruin your perfect image of Robin Williams, since he doesn't play his usual role. And if you watched my analog tech recommendations video, you're familiar with a couple more films with this feature. I think I have to rewatch this movie now because since I watched it, I've lived for a few years in a country where daylight never fades or almost never fades. So I believe I can relate to this movie in a different way now. Let me know if you've ever experienced summer in Alaska or in the Nordics in Europe. What's your favorite 90s thriller? I haven't mentioned some of the most popular ones, except for 7, but feel free to list them down below for those who missed them. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.